Hey guys, today I'm going to be taking you on a tour of the Hampden neighborhood of Baltimore, Maryland. Let's go! Historically, Hampden was a predominantly white working-class neighborhood. Originally established as a residential community for mill workers, Hampden was annexed to the city of Baltimore in 1889. During the early and mid-20th century, Hampden saw a large influx of white Appalachian migrants into the neighborhood drawn by the job prospects of Baltimore. At the time, Baltimore had a thriving manufacturing sector, and many of the migrants were employed in factories. For a while, this was enough to sustain them. However, this began to change during the post-World War II 1950s. Between 1950 and 1995, Baltimore lost 75% of its industrial employment as its manufacturing sector declined. Slowly but surely, the financial and cultural livelihood of longtime Hampden residents came under threat. This was finally realized in the 1990s when an influx of artists, affluent white-collar workers, young people, and entrepreneurs took advantage of the low housing prices to buy many of the row homes lining the streets. Since then, housing and rental prices have increased accordingly, facilitating gentrification. According to the Redfin real estate brokerage, the median housing price in Hampden rose from $56,000 in 2000 to $210,000 in 2017. This has been devastating for many long-term residents and businesses of the neighborhood who can no longer afford the higher prices. As you can see as we walk along this residential street, these new row houses are flipped. That is, they are old row houses that have been renovated to be sold at a higher price. This is a sure sign of gentrification. For many longtime residents of Hampden, it is these houses that are no longer affordable. But for young, wealthy, and white-collar workers, they are attainable. In regards to the visualization of the neighborhood, these flipped houses lie somewhere in between rustic and modern, a charming mix between history and new development. They are extremely well kept and give off a suburban charm. Now, let's walk down Roland Avenue, the main street of the Hampden neighborhood. As you can see, it is full of development, with small businesses, trendy restaurants, and thrift stores. However, it is another sure sign of gentrification. Firstly, all of the new businesses indicate a continued influx of higher-earning individuals into the neighborhood who have more income to spend. Additionally, the newness of all of the businesses show that many older businesses have been displaced, with the new businesses buying up the cheap properties. For example, you can see above that the far trendy coffee shop has bought out a row house right next to several foreclosed row houses. From a visualization standpoint, all of the businesses give the neighborhood a retro look. No doubt, this is a reason why the Hampden neighborhood is so attractive to younger demographics. As we continue down Roland Street, the high number of banks stands out, such as the Bank of America and SunTrust banks above. As you can see by the modern architecture, many of these banks were built recently. This is a sure sign of gentrification. As the average affluence of residents of the neighborhood increases, banks know that the neighborhood is ripe for residential and commercial investment. This is because loans are safer to give out and there is more money to flow into the bank. Another indicator of gentrification is public investment in amenities. By doing so, cities seek to attract more affluent people and businesses to neighborhoods. In Hampden, the Enoch Pratt Public Library is a prime example of this. A once older building, the library underwent a $2.9 million renovation in 2019. The library now has a beautiful interior and accessibility entrance, public computers, a staff of college-age white-collar workers, and a career and job center. As you walk around the Hampden neighborhood, you may notice these scooters lying around. These are rentable electric scooters which have become synonymous with processes of gentrification. It is argued that they pop up only in areas where affluent white-collar entrepreneur/artist types are moving in. Indeed, this seems to be the case with gentrification in Hampden, with 88.73% of its residents being white-collar. Not only are the majority of Hampden residents white-collar, they are also young. According to the 2019 American Community Survey, the average age of a Hampden resident is only 36. This is very evident walking around Hampden, but out of respect for privacy, I did not film anyone. Gentrifier types match this profile, white-collar and young. This demographic also tends to favor a largely consumerist culture, which helps explain the emergence of so many trendy restaurants, bars, and shops in Hampden. Well, I hope you enjoyed my tour of the Hampden neighborhood of Baltimore, Maryland. Remember that while Hampden may possess beautiful homes, trendy businesses, many banks, rich public amenities, electric scooters, and numerous young people, it is still a neighborhood that is undeniably undergoing the process of gentrification.